Well, hello there on Instagram. It's so good to see you. I'm Donna Hoffman. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And hello there, hello there, hello there on Facebook. Hi, guys. I'm Donna Hoffman. It's so good to be here with you on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. They call me the interior design advocate because I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere. That's you guys and you guys. And I help you out whether you are working on your own home, whether you're a professional designer. I've got courses for DIYers. We are going to be doing something exciting for designers in the months ahead. And when I'm not being called one of America's leading coaches in interior design, I actually run a luxury interior design company. Today, I've been doing everything from designing bathrooms to doing budgets for big properties to sourcing artwork. I mean, it's just been all over the place. But my really exciting news for you guys and you guys, I'll say it in just a little bit, but if you read the description, you already know the exciting news. The ebook is out, but I'll give you the full, official, exciting note on that in just a bit. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about important stuff. We're talking about you. We're talking about 5 considerations that you have to keep in mind when you are downsizing. You know, everybody thinks, oh, downsizing is going to be less money. Well, perhaps once you've moved and settled in, you're going to spend less on heating and cooling. Sure. You're going to spend less on upkeep in terms of lawn services, and certainly if you're not going to be dealing with a lawn anymore, there's a big savings right there. Or cutting your own lawn. But the move itself is always pricier than anybody thinks it will be, wants it to be. But even beyond that, there are 5 considerations that you have to keep in mind when you're downsizing to get you through the downsize so you feel wonderful and lifted while you're doing it. And so that you're controlling those costs. You know me, I like to see those costs controlled. I don't care if you have a gajillion-dollar budget or a $10 budget. I want to see you managing those budgets really well. And thank you for all the hellos and all the waves that are coming in. It's great to see everybody. Always, always, always. All right, so consideration numero uno when downsizing. This is going to sound like a duh, but you're going to have very likely less natural light. Perhaps in most spaces or all spaces. Why? Because chances are good if you're downsizing, you are reducing the size of your rooms and the number of your rooms, but you're reducing the number of windows and window size in your rooms. Now, is it possible that you're downsizing and your new great room has a 2-story vaulted area with a big expanse of windows? Absolutely. But in your bedroom and your home office, etc., if you are now moving into smaller room size, it's just logical. Smaller rooms, smaller windows, fewer windows. So adjusting to less natural light for some of you will be a no-brainer. You may not like really brightly lit spaces. For others of you, that can be a little soul crushing. If you're somebody who loves a lot of natural light, be mindful when you're looking at your downsize, if you're shopping for it now, if you're going to be shopping for it, be mindful of, can I at least get some southern exposure in the orientation of the space that I select? Be real careful about what the space looks like and feels like with the lights off, right? During the day, lights off, but during the day. So if you're looking at an existing property, just say, hey, can we just shut these lights? Let me just see what it feels like in here at 2 in the afternoon or 11 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon. Just be wise as you're doing that shopping. And if you're building new, again, ask the questions. Am I south facing for my kitchen, for my great room, for my family room, for my living room, my home office, whatever that important room, those important spaces are for you. And certainly there are things that you can do to enhance the sense of natural lighting in a room. Enhance the sense of window in the room. You can add more glass. You can do glass behind pieces of artwork behind glass. You can add mirror as well. Those are just some quickie little tippies. So then the next thing you need to consider is that you're going to have, this is another kind of like duh, yeah, Donna, but let's talk about it. You downsize, you're going to have less space. And so you need to be brutally honest with yourself on your functional needs versus your wants. So right now, perhaps you and your significant other each have your own home office. What's going to happen in the new space? Are you going to cohabitate on your co-office? What's that going to look like? And how are you going to partner up? And how easily can you partner up there? So you need to be really brutal in doing your inventory about what your functional needs are so that you can manage your own expectations well and source well for this new property. And maybe you want to give up something. Maybe you want to give up a dedicated I don't know, guest room because you also want it to be a yoga studio. So now it's, got a pull-out sofa in it instead of a dedicated queen size beds, because you also want to be able to do a little yoga in there, or meditation or praying, or whatever it is you want to turn that room into. So just be aware, less space means your functional needs have to be perhaps rejiggered or examined. Okay, less natural light, possibly less window, less glass, less space. Also, costs. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to save so much money, it's going to be a lot smaller. Well, yeah, it may be smaller, but you're still going to have the cost of covering those windows, handling those windows. Windows, do you need to cover them for privacy? Do you need to cover them for a sense of comfort? Some people feel more comfortable at night with the windows drawn closed, right? Or the aesthetic, just the aesthetic piece of it. Do you have to create blackout so that you can sleep at night in a bedroom, in all the bedrooms maybe, if you're going to have a guest room also? Or if there's going to be some major TV viewing happening in one room, you're going to have to control the light. So light control for the windows that you do have, not inexpensive. Make sure you're budgeting for those things as well. And speaking of budgeting, most people really overestimate furniture costs for their downsize. So I'm going to kind of blend point 5, 4, and 5 here. You are going to be surprised that a lot of the furniture you have now will not fit as well as you think it will in your downsize. The furniture you have now is either larger in piece count or just in size, and it can be harder to then integrate that into your new space. Therefore, more dollars are spent because now you've got things that aren't fitting, right? That sideboard from your old dining room, too big for the new space. The sectional sofa you have is left facing, and now you need one that's right facing, or it's just way too big for you. Too much furniture is, of course, you have to expect that, but it's not just that. It's that your furniture very well may be too large. Therefore, you might be doing more purchasing than you think. And then the other thing I like to warn people about when they're downsizing, you may have furniture that fits in your new space, but you may not want it there. You might be thinking, oh gosh, I have, over this trend that I bought into 15, 20 years ago, I really want a fresh look that's X, and right now I've got a lot of Y. So how much purchasing do you really want to do in this new space, so that when you're looking for this new downsize spot, this new nest, be brutally honest with yourself. What can you take with you? What will fit? What won't fit? Do space plans. They are worth the effort and time. I promise you, promise you, promise you. Downsizing is not the no-brainer that a lot of people think. People think that upsizing is much more stressful because, of course, you're going to be doing more purchasing. You're upsizing. It's a whole different set of stresses and considerations when you're upsizing. Downsizing has a significant pressure to it as well. But if you look at it in the right way, you're lightening up. Right? You're becoming more streamlined in what you're doing. You're easing up some of the upkeep in your life. Focus on that freedom and that joyfulness, and that hopefully will help you sail through. So as more of you have joined, I want to let you know that the exciting news around here, these parts, is that, take out my iPad, my new ebook is out. It launched today. I'm so excited, and you guys have been so delicious. Our customer service team has been overwhelmed with requests and questions about it. So it is an ebook. It is not a physical book. It's an ebook. It's called What Would a Designer Do? Checklist Your Way to a Great Space. And it's 100 pages plus, filled with space after space, every type of room in your home, just a fire hose of me talking to you. Here's everything you could do in a bedroom, from furnishings to accessories. Here's everything you could do in a living room, from furnishings to accessories. This is how an award-winning design brain thinks. These are elements that you could do, design moves that you could do. And if you go to any checklist and you pick 1 to 3 ideas off any checklist, you'll have an instant roadmap to a quick facelift. If you pick 3 to 5 to 7 ideas, you have an instant roadmap to a redo. So it's a really fun read cover to cover if you like, or you can jump around and just read the checklists that are of interest to you. Plus, there are topic checklists to give you a quick entertaining education on something. And there are a bunch of, I think, 9 different gifts that you can tap into within the book. Downloadable, additional its and bits and fun things. And for anybody who purchases What Would a Designer Do? In the next 7 days, you're going to get a VIP ticket to participate or join me for our book launch party, which I believe we said is September 28th. September 28th, 8 p.m. BYOC, bring your own cab. BYOP, bring your own Pinot Grigio. We'll be doing wine and design. So you and me, babes, you can send in pictures and questions ahead of time. You can ask me things live. I can unmute your microphone. You might even do it on Zoom, so you can even come out here on camera with me as well. We're going to talk and we're going to design together at the book launch party. I am excited. And we're going to have a couple of little presents and giveaways for you that night too as well. So I hope you'll pick up a copy of my brand new ebook, What Would a Designer Do? Checklist Your Way to a Great Room. It is such a fun read. Everybody who's read it so far has loved it. And like I said, customer service has been pretty inundated today with questions and requests, and we've been inundated with people purchasing. So thank you if you've already purchased it. We're delighted. All right, so if you've got any questions on what I've talked about so far in this Facebook Live, feel free to pop it in there. And if you missed any portion of this Facebook Live, you can always find us on YouTube at the Interior Design Advocate. There it is. Okay, so let's see who's got what to say, if anything. If there are any questions on topic, we'll take them. And if not, we'll scooch on out of here. Okay. Lisa Barringer is saying, thanks for the great info in the book. You're welcome, Lisa. I'm so glad you got it. I saw your name come up, so I'm excited. Elena saying hello and good afternoon. Hello, Elena. Michelle Callahan is saying, downsized over the last 10 years from 6,000 square feet, that's a lot of house, of residence, to 4,400 square feet, to 2,600 square feet. I'm so much happier in a smaller space. Did you hear that, guys? There's nothing that says anywhere that larger means more beautiful, larger means better. And, you know, it's so easy. Everybody gets caught up in this comparison, like, you know, comparison to everybody else on the planet, that then you're watching how the other half lives in Pinterest or whatever. Big doesn't necessarily mean beautiful. And big doesn't necessarily mean wonderful. It can if that's what you're after, but you can do beautiful things in smaller nests. I promise you that. All right, Judy is saying, broadcast keeps getting interrupted. Uh-oh, Judy, I think that could be your connection. I hope you can find your way back in. Michelle is also saying, how many pages is the book? And is it different info than the Decorating Genius course? Oh, yeah, totally. It is a checklist. Like when people say to me, Donna, what would you do in this room? That's why I wrote the book. I'm constantly getting, Donna, what would you do in this space? Donna, what would you do in this living room, in this nursery, in this home office, in this blah, 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 fill in the blank. So it's just you and me, with me just doing like a brain dump of everything I know. When I look at a space as a designer, I go, boop, any one of these things can happen in this type of room. And it's just there for you. So it has a totally different vibe and direction than my online courses. So I think you'll find great value in it if you've already taken one of my courses. And it's 100 pages. Plus, there are downloadable gifts. So like if there's a particular, if there's a particular topic that I touch and I say, hey, if you want to go deeper on this topic, you know, get my guide on this and whatever. So there it is. Getting hearts on that. Okay, so Jennifer McCann is saying, I so love the book already. Oh, I'm so glad. I know, Jennifer, I saw your name came up today, so I know you already purchased your book. I'm so glad. Sharon Rudd is saying, how do I get my husband to let go of pieces he loves but are too big for our house? Steve Hoffman, do you have anything to say on this topic? He's saying, nope, not touching that one. Sharon. Have him take my Decorating Genius online course and show him that space plans don't lie. If you cram architecture with pieces that are too big, if you flip the bird to architecture and say, hey, I know you're saying architecture, I can only have something this big, but I'm putting something in this big, Architecture always wins. You lose. You can only push your architecture so far. Are there little things that you can do to coax architecture? Sharon, are there things you can do for that oversized piece? Maybe you can paint it or reupholster it, lighten up the color so it feels a little bit less heavy in a space. Yeah, there are some sleight of hand things you could do, certainly. But if something's too big, it's just too big, period. And I think you just have to rip off the Band-Aid and tell him that he's actually giving away some of the perceived square footage that you guys are paying for in your rent check or your mortgage payment or your cash payment that you did when you bought the whole thing down because you're a trust fund baby. Alrighty, so I think you just rip off the Band-Aid and have that discussion. Architecture always wins. So there it is. Okay, Allison said, I bought the book today. I wish it was a physical book. I'm waiting on e-delivery. Uh-oh, Allison Ulrich is waiting for her ebook. It hasn't got, Allison, I think there's a glitch for you because you should get the book right away. And everybody's saying they wishes it was a physical book, but we're launching as an ebook and we may decide to bring it out as a physical book next year, but definitely getting it out to you was the most important thing. And let me tell you, it was a Herculean undertaking to write and to put out as an ebook. So we'll get that to you, Allison. And I'm going to ask that Steve reaches out to you or Kate, because there's a glitch if you didn't get yours yet. Okay. Sometimes, often what happens, people sometimes input unintentionally an email address incorrectly. And so we get, kicked back out when we're trying to deliver an e-product to you, or your spam grabs it. There it is. Okay, first question from First Lady Valesta. Donna, I'm downsizing from 3,200 square feet to 2,300 square feet, but to an open floor plan, and I'm struggling to make good use of the space to make it cozy. Any suggestions? This is such a great question. Open concept is a perfect way to leverage and open up your space. Oh my gosh, absolutely. It makes the most of whatever available square footage is there. What you have to make sure you are not skipping, it's the unsexy step that I know a lot of you design lovers out there are skipping, that a professional designer would never skip. You cannot skip furniture space plans. You can't. Furniture space plans do not lie. They tell you what fits, why, where, how much of it, what the spacing needs to be, where that rug needs to be placed to maximize the space. They're brilliant, brilliant tools. I know they're not sexy, but they are brilliant. So the first thing I'd want you to do is learn to do a space plan. If you don't know how to, you can check out my online course, Decorating Genius, 7 Simple Steps to Great Rooms. I teach it both if you want to draw them by hand or if you want to do it using a free program, no problem. But you've got to master that part first. But then beyond that, I've said this before, if you've ever joined me for an open concept discussion, we should do a Facebook Live just on open concept. Note to self, making a note. Open concept. All right, there it is. You guys overcomplicate open concept. You really do. You are looking at it like it's this complication. Really what it is one big room divided into zones. Divided into zones, separated into zones. But what that means for you, First Lady Valesta, is that you're going to have the same color palette. Everything is in alignment with everything else, and you are delineating your zones with an area rug here, here, or here, right? Your color palette may develop a little bit more into certain zones. Your color palette may develop slightly differently into certain zones. Maybe an accent color is used a little more heavily in the dining zone versus the living room zone. But it's all one space. It's not the complicated picture that you guys sometimes make it out to be. I do dive into open concept inside of Decorating Genius as well. So if you need more than that, check that course out. And feel free, of course, if you want a follow-up question, you can pop that in as well. Okay, Marvel Lambert is saying this is awesome. Is there a link to purchase? Yes, Marvel, in the Facebook description I have here for you guys on Facebook, there's a link to purchase the book, What Would a Interior Designer Do? So there you go. I'm getting hellos from Alex, more hellos. Okay. Okay. So then Shireen Sherry Murella said, I just sent the book to the printer, so so I'll have my own hard copy. Here's the thing, Sherry, the links in the ebook are interactive for the freebies, so don't lose the link to the ebook, because we put some fun gifts in there. There's some good stuff. There it is. So there it is. I'm glad you guys are excited, though. I'm thrilled. Michelle is saying she's buying the book today. I assume I can send it to the UPS store and they can print it out for me. Yes, Michelle, we just said that's what somebody else is doing, and she's sure it's going to be fabulous. I am so happy you're excited. People are loving this book, and I loved writing it for you. It's been a labor of love. I just can't wait for you to have it. Alrighty, so Becky is saying, my home is big. My home is big and a pig, according to my husband. Ouch. I want to turn it into a winning pig at the fair. Doing lots of painting and cutting down trees and grinding stumps. Lots of gardening happening. Are there any tips in your book on this? Well, yeah, the whole book is divided up by every single room inside your home, just with a litany of here's what you can do to make this space fabulous. Pick 1 to 3 ideas off of any checklist, and you have an instant roadmap for a quick facelift. Pick 4 to 7 ideas off of any checklist, and you have an instant roadmap for a total redo. And I promise you that it's, you know, I have a private group that I'm meeting with tonight, some of my more advanced, dedicated students. And we get together one Monday a month. And when I'm talking to a student, they're taking notes, and I'm just saying, how about this? You could try this. You could do this. Have you thought about this? How about this? Well, there's also this. You know, you could try this. Have you tried this? That's what this checklist book is. It's that. Me and you going for it. So there it is. Okay. So Becky, I hope I answered you there, Becky. Shelly, you can order the book by going to the link that we have here. Oh, and I'll just say the link. It's theinteriordesignadvocate.com/ebook. Theinteriordesignadvocate.com/ebook. Okay. Michelle just purchased the book. I'm so glad she already got it. That's the beauty of a book. Marvel is saying, you are the best, Donna. Just saw it. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Sherry Murella is saying, how do you select pendants and dining room lights in an open concept? Should they be the same metal style, etc.? This is such a good question. Guys, Sherry, I don't want you to feel like, okay, you know, my wedding rings are platinum or white gold, so everything else has to be, you know, white metal. No, you can wear the gold Gucci belt, right? You can mix it up a little bit. Same thing with open concept. If you have open concept where, as an accent, you want some living room lamps that maybe have a little bit of gold to them, but the majority of the other fixed lighting is in silver, great, no problem. Think about the 80-20 rule when you're mixing your metals in general in a space. Do designers get a little more jiggy and complicated with it? We do, but that's just a quick rule for you guys. Lean into one metal family color more. 80% of it, right? And then the other 20% is something else, not a bunch of other things, something else. But in terms of your pendants and dining table light, they should be in conversation. They should marry well together. Matchy-matchy, nopity, nope. You do not want matchy-matchy, not if you want that Pinterest beautiful, Instagram gorgeous look. You don't want the matchy-matchy thing, but you want things to be in conversation. So for example, in a kitchen I'm designing right now, we have a really interesting oblong fixture with a long rectangular shade and a gold cage kind of thing around it as well over the long dining table. So I didn't want to do over the island. I wasn't going to then do more lampshade product or lighting. I already have a lampshade over the kitchen table. That's enough. So I looked to do something in that same gold finish that would marry well with what's over the dining table, but we did something that was had a little more glass to it, but there's gold on it as well. Does that make sense? So let things marry in your pendants and your dining table for that open concept kitchen, dining, and pendant area. Marry your finishes, but make sure that the fixtures themselves are not like from the same series. That makes sense? Hopefully that makes sense for you. All right. First Lady Balesta says, I love how you started at the front door with your book. Clever. You've already opened the book. I love it. Everybody's telling me, I just got the book and I started it already. I can't stop. I'm so glad. And people are finding the book kind of fun and funny because you know how I am. You know how I roll. I believe design should be joyful. And if I could send you chocolate in the book, I'd do that too. OU Cindy is saying, does the book give any sneak peeks on future color trends? Nope, it's not a trend book. Nope, it does not. If you want sneak peeks on color trends and so forth, check out my, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my blog. That's where we cover this, okay? There is a boatload of information and ideas just lovingly zipped up into and jammed into the checklist book. So I hope you guys love it. Alrighty, so Christy is saying, ignore my angry emojis. I pressed them accidentally. I didn't even see them. Ooh, I'm glad I didn't see them because they would have scared me. Okay, there it is. All right, guys, if there are no more, last call on questions. While you're putting in any last questions, if you have any last questions, I'll tell you what we're talking about next week. So this week we talked about downsizing. Last week we talked about using color in smaller spaces. You getting where I'm going here? So we tackled small space last week, downsizing this week. If you missed this week or last week and you need that topic, go to our YouTube channel, find me there, my high-tech sign here. We're the Interior Design Advocate. That's how you'll find us. And next week, since we kind of got a little small here, smaller spaces, next week we're opening it up and we're doing what considerations that you need to really have top of gorgeous brain when you are upsizing. That's a whole other, I don't want to say headache, it's a whole other challenge. Let's not look at it negatively. It's all positive. Having a roof over your head is a blessing and it's positive. Upsizing, downsizing, just sizing, just having something, right? So next week we're going to be talking about 5 considerations when you are upsizing. So if there are any final questions, feel free to pop them in. Please enjoy the book. It's a great gift to send to someone. I hope you love it as much as I have loved creating it for you. Anyone who purchases the book in the next 7 days will get a ticket to a one-time only event that only purchasers of the book for the first 7 days will be open to attend. And it is going to be a book launch, wine and design celebration. Bring your own Cabernet, bring your own Pinot Grigio, bring your own water with lemon in it, which is what I'm drinking right now too. That's fine, but you can, we'll be unmuting microphones so you can come talk to me online. You can send in pictures and questions ahead of time. Well, pictures ahead of time to go with your question. You'll talk to me live. If you're too shy to talk to me live though, just like I'm going to be doing tonight, some of my students are too shy to talk to me. They just type in their question like that, and Kate, my assistant, will read their question out. But if you want some info, you can pick my brain at the wine and design party, just as my thank you for buying the book. The fabulous ebook. I'll give you one last look at it because I'm so proud of it, and I just love my team for helping me get it out there to you. So it's an ebook. Here it is on my iPad. It's called What Would an Interior Designer Do? 7 Simple Steps to Great. No, that's wrong. What would an interior designer do? Checklist your way to a great room. Okay, so. Big hug to you. I can't wait for you to get it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you next week. Hugs and kisses, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.